welcome to day 3 of Kate's literary house party, when I invite some of your favourite authors to talk about their domestic habits and also a little bit about how they fit in the writing and everything else, especially in these current lockdown days. We're also going to play the Sella Game when we find out which of 3 house guests selected by our special guest today they would like to lock in the cellar, have in their bedroom, and also have in the kitchen. So it's all set to be some fun and games today, especially because my guest for the day is the awesome and the marvelous and the creative Tammy Cohen, aka Rachael Reese. So we get 2 for the price of 1 today. Welcome.
Hi, Kate. How are you? I love that introduction. You can do that all day long.
Well, I could do that. Anything to avoid writing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So here we are. We're going to talk about all sorts of things today, and we have especially got one thing I'm really delighted is we have got some amazing photos to share as well.
Oh God, those photos! I couldn't actually believe I sent them to you after I sent them. I was like, am I mad?
Yeah, well, no, they're great.
They're on the internet forever now, which is terrible.
They are not embarrassing. They are absolutely fabulous. I love them to pieces. So we will actually hang on. I'm gonna bring up your entry for the Sella Game, because people watching will be able to play along, because the Sella Game, the idea of that is that I ask each of our authors to pick 3 housemates, and we don't know until later on whether these people here
I've cheated by cramming a whole lot into one, a collective of house in one of those categories.
Now, I've got a few guesses of my own, but we have for later to be revealed. We've got Gwyneth Paltrow, we've got the guys from Queer Eye, and in case people don't know who the third figure that is Hunter S. Thompson, legendary gonzo journalist and writer. So, make some guesses as we go along, see what you think they might be most suitable for, and all will be revealed as we go along with the brilliant Tammy, who is a writer of brilliant psychological thrillers, including this one that came out yesterday, Stop at Nothing, and I've absolutely gobbled this one up in hardback. It's fantastic. Really kind of keeps you occupied and reading all the way through, and we'll be talking a bit about that. And we will also be talking about Tammy's alter ego, Rachael Reese. So I was thinking about the best way of describing these books. Historical mysteries, would that be
the Rachael Reese? Yes, I guess so. Kind of, they're always got an exotic element. They're massively escapist, which is what we need at the moment. So it's generally somebody from a woman from who, because of the constraints of the times, has led quite a sheltered life, going somewhere very exotic and kind of rediscovering or discovering herself as she tries to unravel a mystery that she finds there.
Great. So we'll chat about that a little bit later. But first of all, we have been talking to everybody about what they're like to live with. So,
God, I'm not going to put my family on to tell you the truth.
So give us the varnished version.
The varnished version. Well, I think I'm quite good to live with. I reckon on the whole, I don't take up a lot of space for a start. When we see these terrible photos of my university flatmates, I still see them quite a lot. And when I go and stay with Helen, who lives in Birmingham, we always go and have a kind of a girls' weekend, and everyone sleeps in various places. And I'm always on the child's mattress in the study, like shoved in there, like Harry Potter under the stairs. So I think I'm quite good in that way. I'm quite space saving, and I reckon I'm quite laid back on the whole. I'm not very house proud, so that I don't go around like sweeping up after you and wiping up, clearing your plates away before you've even finished eating and that kind of thing. I reckon I'm all right.
Deadline. Do you do that when you've got a book deadline though?
when I got a book deadline, I the great thing about living with a writer, they tend to hide themselves away a lot of the time. You don't have to see them. But I do admit that when I do come out, I do a lot of groaning, a lot of groaning and a lot of moaning and a lot of head in hands at the dinner table. You know, this is the worst book I've ever written. It's the worst book anyone's ever written, that kind of thing.
Everyone always says that, don't they? They always kind of think, and they always think it's the worst one. Although, do you know that Pally, C.L. Taylor, that I chatted to yesterday, keeps a diary?
Oh.
And that means that at exactly the same spot, she can go back to the last book at exactly the point when she thought it was the worst book.
Well, that point kind of lasts a very long time, but it's less of a point and more of a plateau for me, where I think it's the worst book. But yeah.
So I have asked people to find photographs, and I'm going to show these now. Not everyone will be able to see, but we have got some brilliant photos. I just love them. And
you see, we used to do. This is the 1980s, so these are my university days, and there wasn't a whole lot to do in those days. You didn't have Netflix. You couldn't watch TV all day because there was a load of crap on. Didn't have video games. You didn't have anything. So we did a lot of dressing up and getting drinking cocktails from very cheap alcohol and dressing up in whatever we had to hand, as you can see. Oh God, don't go in any further. Yeah, and the worst hair ever, that one in the corner with the I'm peering at it now. I cannot remember ever having hair that bad. I don't know when it got that bad, and I'm profusely sorry and ashamed.
Was this the first time you'd lived away from home?
At uni, yeah. So when I was 18. So I lived with my flatmate Kathy there, who I'm with, is in the orange jumper. We did American Studies together at Manchester University, and went to America for a year, where we shared the same room, which is where you can see us standing there against the door. So we shared the same room. We'd each bought like a carrier bag with all our stuff in for a whole year. So we also swapped clothes. So I'm actually wearing Kathy's jumper, and she always had much better wardrobe than I did, and I was always desperate to wear all her clothes. But as you can see, there was quite a height difference. I didn't fit into most of them.
It does look really amazing.
And then the one below, so that was America, and then the one below is there is Kathy again and my other flatmate Helen, and we lived in Hume in Manchester in a condemned flat which was full of cockroaches and asbestos. But good days.
How did you divide up the chores in those days? Did you learn?
Helen did them all. Mostly. Oh look, Helen's here. She's watching.
Oh, isn't that brilliant? So Helen is the one in the photograph.
Helen's in that photo outside the flats. Helen's the one on the right.
That is brilliant. I kind of live as we speak.
Now I can't make up any stories. I can't make myself look better. Yeah. So poor Helen did do most of the chores, and I'm very sorry, Helen. Oh yeah, she's saying Kathy cooked. She did. I don't know what I did though.
Were you in charge?
I don't know what my contribution was. I apologise, Helen, for making you do all the chores.
Oh well, never mind. It strikes me that maybe now would be a good time to move away from those days.
I know, now that everything I say can be challenged.
Yes, challenge proved literally by kind of live stream. So let us pull up if I can find them. Oh, you went.
That was my job. Actually, that was my job. You're right. That was my contribution. I was sent to the local cab shop to get chocolate.
I think that sounds like a really vital role in most student households, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So let us go on to the Sella Game then. So here we have Gwynny, the Queer Eye Boys, and we've got Hunter S. So which of these have you picked as your housemate for the kitchen?
Hunter S. Thompson. I have picked Hunter S. Thompson because, first of all, because I think he would be a laugh. I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, he was an amazing writer and lived what he wrote. So he went on these mad adventures and wrote about them. But he also he lived how he managed to live as long as he did in the way that he did, God knows, because there's a very famous. I'm trying to hold it up.
I can actually do it by the magic.
You do that.
You can actually see it here.
Yes, it's you can't read it. Oh yeah, there you go. It's a list of his daily routine, and basically it's from when he gets up at 3 PM to when he goes to sleep at 8 o'clock the next day. It's basically just loads and loads and loads of drugs, and going off to get to stuff his face with something, and then coming back and doing loads more drugs and lots of alcohol. And I think he'd be great in the kitchen. He would never steal your food because he would never be hungry because of the amount of cocaine he took. So that would be a real plus. He likes a lot of coffee. I like a lot of coffee. You would always have nice cocktails, nice cognac, and some good stories. Some good entertainment. What else could you want? Have you gone? Have you gone, Kate?
Oh, am I? Yes, maybe I've gone. No, I was here. You can hear me now, though, can't you?
I can hear you now.
This is me trying to get the hang of it. There we go. I knew that I was getting too good at it. So yeah, he does seem a bit too keen on the old chartreuse there, though, doesn't he?
Can you ever be too keen?
I don't know. Chartreuse isn't my favourite beverage.
No. Well, none of them are my favourite, but I could probably be persuaded. I'm very easily persuadable to most things.
The Chivas, maybe. That's a bit more high quality. So we're going to hide that one, and I'm going to come back. And then we're going to try.
Phew, I got you back. I was just like flailing around with.
Yeah, no. I was here. I just, it was a bit like one of those classic Zoom moments now where you'll kind of forget that you're not actually sort of able to be heard. So I think we're going to move straight on to the next one, actually, because I'm intrigued. So we have got the Sella Game back up again. We've dealt with Hunter S. Thompson. So what about your choice for the bedroom?
Who do you think out of those?
I think it might be the Queer Boys, the Queer Eye Boys.
Yes, you're right. All 5 of them. I want all 5 of them to cater for all my different needs in the bedroom, except the main one, because they are, alas, all gay. But yes, you could have everything all in one. You'd have one that does your wardrobe, so you never have to appear like this. One who does your hair. I mean, Jonathan, what would he do with my hair? I would love that. One who brings you lovely food, feeds you while you're lying in bed in state. What does the other one do? The other one would feng shui your room and make it all look beautiful. And then the lovely one, what's his name? Karamo.
I don't know their name. Yeah, I'm less of a fan. I like them, but I couldn't.
See, and then he could talk me through everything and make me feel better about myself. All be perfect, all in one package. What more could you want?
Actually, you have got a good point. They would be brilliant in the lockdown scenario, wouldn't they?
All of them, though. You've got to have a job lot of queer-eyed guys. Can't just have one.
It would be the perfect setup. Yeah, the perfect ménage à six, I suppose. So yeah, just ditch everyone else in your household and invite the queer-eyed boys round and never let them get away. Yeah. No, I think of the choices that we've had so far, I think that's a really outstanding one.
It's a bit cheating after asking for 5.
Yeah.
But...
It's a bit like when on Desert Island Discs people go for the entire British Library as their or something, isn't it? But you know, I will let you have this one.
Good.
So moving on then from
I feel mean putting Gwynnie in the cellar, but she belongs in the cellar. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So all right then, tell us what you would do with Gwynnie in the cellar and why she's ending up there.
Well, I wouldn't do anything mean to her. I would put her down there. I would make it all lovely. She can have one of her scented candles that smells like her vagina to keep her happy, and she could do all her meditation and everything she wants. She would just be shut away, so none of us have to listen to her.
I can relate to that, although there is a certain amusement factor.
There is a certain amusement factor, but I don't know, it is amusing, but it's also a bit sinister. I mean, the amount of money she's making out of women's insecurities and pseudoscience, and it's not just fluffy and fun. I think there is a sinister side to that whole wellness industry, and that whole thing of selling women in particular this idea that they too will look like Gwynnie and have Gwynnie's life if they spend £100 on jade egg to put up their nunny.
Yeah. I mean, there are a whole range of lifestyle products that she's sold that you never had the faintest idea that you could possibly need.
No, and you don't need them, really. Nobody is. Selling you that idea that there is something wrong. You know, that didn't she talk about steaming? They were advocating steaming your vagina. They were terribly hung up about vaginas, but yeah, steaming. I'm sure that's actually actively harmful.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's never been something that has been recommended by anyone.
It's not recommended by any reputable doctor.
Don't try that one at home. But it is right. Anything can. The idea of wellness and kind of feeling, even self-care, which is another one of those words that kind of does that to me. But actually, the principle behind it, I'm pretty comfortable with. You know, it's that
principles. I mean, everyone wants to be well, and everyone wants to be their best self, as it were. But I think this idea of selling it at the highest price to people who just desperately are, who might have other insecurities and just seize on that and will pay all that money because she's selling a lifestyle that they can't actually get. Nobody will get that lifestyle apart from Gwynnie. Plus, she'd called her child Apple. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I'll give you her in the cellar, and we will all be much happier and weller as a result. So I think there is a kind of a segue from the insecurities and especially women into your psychological thrillers, psychological thrillers.
That was smooth and seamless.
I think so. Because if you like, I mean, when we write a psychological thriller, we are absolutely tapping into some of those deep insecurities and worries we've got. So tell me how you tapped into that with Stop at Nothing, which has just been come out in paperback.
Well, Stop at Nothing is it's a story that the main character is a menopausal, middle-aged woman whose life is unraveling. I can't imagine where I might have got the inspiration for that. But yes, like you say, it's about women, people's insecurities. So Tessa Hopwood, who is the main character, she, since turning 50, she's lost her husband, she's lost her career, she's become estranged from her elder daughter, and her younger daughter, then Emma, gets attacked on the way home, and Tessa just takes that as well as her own fault. She takes the guilt for that, and she thinks she's taken her eye off the ball, and an arrest is made, but the case collapses when Emma can't identify the man who did it. But when Emma then thinks she sees the man who's done it walking around in their neighbourhood, Tessa decides that this is her moment. She can redeem herself, and she takes matters into her own hands. But actually, what starts out as her wanting to protect Emma then becomes quite a dangerous obsession. So it's about, this is really weird because, you're back. I was sort of like talking into this void. It was horrible. But yes, like you say, it's about insecurity. So this terrible thing happens in Tessa's life, but it also coincides with the time in her life when all the roles that have defined her up till now, you know, like a career woman, a wife, a daughter, a mother, she sees them all falling away or changing, and she's kind of left scrabbling. She doesn't really know who she is anymore. And then this thing happens that she probably seizes on more than she might have done in any other time of her life as a thing she can do to redefine herself and to redeem herself as a mother, to claw back one of those roles that she feels like she's losing.
And so you said, I can't think where I got the idea from. Have all of your thrillers started with something that relates to your own life? I mean, how much of yourself do you put into the dilemmas? Because there's a lot to think about in them.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like most of us, you put in, you start out with characters that might be completely different to you, but there are aspects of their lives or what they think or how they react that are you. You know, you can't not put your experience in some ways into your characters, even if the characters are completely different to you. But obviously they're not you. You know, they're in a different circumstances, different ages, different mindsets, everything. So certain moments and certain reactions and certain viewpoints have to come from you, but not all of them, I'm sure.
And is that more of an issue with the historical stuff? So we've got the cover. I love this cover for Island.
It's great, isn't it? That's going to be all foil. The Rachael Reese is going to be in gold foil.
So anyone who is not a writer will not understand why we get so excited about foil. We love it. We get so excited. We see our covers, don't we, when they arrive on email, and we're like holding up, and then they go, "Oh yes," and you're going to get foil. Which is very exciting.
I know. I was talking to Amanda Jennings yesterday. We're still the holy grail for us both is coloured sprayed pages, sprayed edge pages. We both, that's like our dream to get them.
Yeah, I had that with a German book once. It was black on the edges. I was like, this is like very, very strokeable. But you know, we are book people, aren't we? With a book is not just the words on the page; it is a physical object.
Yeah.
So this one, then, how do you get into the mindset of not only another character but also in a completely different historical period?
Well, I guess people are people, even if it's a historical period that's gone. And I don't go back deliberately. This is 1957. And the other Rachael Reeses were 1948 and 1939. So I don't go back hundreds of years where you might have to completely rethink the mindset because everything would be so different. I mean, there's a lot of similarities, a lot of things that have carried over. And people, like I say, people are people. People's responses are the same. People's fears are the same. People, want the same things. Love the same way. You transport them into a different setting, but I think human nature just stays the same, doesn't it?
And how do you pick your settings?
By where I want to go next.
So Island of Secrets, you did get to go to Cuba.
I know, it's great. I loved it so much. Yeah, it's a very special place, I think. Havana, and the great thing about Havana, where it's set, is that you go there, and I hadn't even really realized it, but I set a book in 1957 Havana, and you go there, and the city is frozen in time at that exact point in time in the late 1950s, because nothing's been done on the infrastructure. The cars are the same, the buildings are the same. It's just astonishing. It's like you're walking into the pages of your own book.
Yeah, I loved Cuba as well. A really amazing place.
When did you go there?
That would have been about 2004. But I bet it wasn't that different from when you were there. I mean, obviously things have opened up a bit more since then.
Yeah, I think it has opened up. I mean, we could go and stay in people's houses, and people can let out, Airbnb their houses and their flats, and that's something I don't think you could do until quite recently. And that makes a huge difference, because you can actually go and talk to people properly and find out how people think and live and all the rest of it.
I have actually got a question here coming in from Russell here. Look, there we go. What is your writing discipline? Oh, that assumes we've got one.
I think discipline is possibly the wrong word, because I don't have any. When I was young, when I had young children, and this was before I started writing novels, when I was still being a journalist, I was so disciplined, because you only have the time when they're at school, and so you have a really set amount, 9 o'clock in the morning till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was so productive in those years. But since the children have grown, and suddenly I've got all the time in the world, I actually find it so hard to make myself do anything. So I do show up most days to my desk, but some days are definitely more productive than others. I definitely don't do a daily word count or anything like that. I would like to, but it doesn't work for me. I have tried in the past to do a weekly word count when I've really been up against it. So tried to say by the end of Sunday night, I have to have done 10,000 words that week. And so that means that you can either kind of do a little bit every single day and work the weekends, or you can try and be very productive and have some time off. But I'm not disciplined. That's the problem. And if I was disciplined, I would have weekends off. But I generally tend to go to work every day because I'm so distracted most of the time. Sorry, that's a terrible answer, isn't it? But the only thing that makes me work properly is deadlines, and that's probably possibly from being a journalist all those years, which you were as well. And so I never missed a deadline, and they were usually you'd get like 3 days or a week or something. So, but getting a year's deadline is quite tough.
Although it's a year per book, so that means you are actually writing more than one book a year.
Yes, I have done. I'd say it tends to kind of go. I'll write one book in 1 year, and then 2. So it's probably a book every 9 months, I would think. That probably works best for me, because I lose interest very, very quickly, and kind of want to be on to the next project. I would love to be someone like Donna Tartt, who would take 10 years over writing a book, and then they're amazing when they come out, but it just isn't how my mind works, I don't think.
I'm a lot like that too. I wonder if it's a form of journalism thing, that you're used to being really intensely passionate and interested in something, and then next.
Yeah, I know. It's always the next. But with me, it's always the next project that I'm intensely interested in, rather than the one I'm doing at the moment.
So, how are you going to research your foreign settings?
Well, from now, God,
yes.
Well, I'll have to be doing a lot of more Googling, I think. My first Rachael Reese, which was all set on an ocean liner going from London to Sydney in 1939, and it's all the places so it's the 6 weeks of the voyage, and all the different exotic locations they stop at. And that one, obviously, I couldn't. My resources didn't stretch to go into all those exotic locations. So I did a lot of Googling, a lot of Google Earthing, a lot of watching of old footage on YouTube. I mean, the internet is an amazing tool, and you can put into Google and up it comes. That someone has taken a cine film of the pyramids in 1939 or whatever it was. It's amazing what you can find. So it's possible to write the next Rachael Reese that way, but I hope I don't have to.
No. Well, hopefully we won't have to be quite so domestically focused in the medium term.
Yeah, so Rachael Reese won't have the same glamour if it's like Rachel in the garden or in Keys.
Exactly. So I'm gonna bring this one up just quickly again because I just love these pictures so much. I'm gonna go
Tell me they don't stay on the internet forever, please.
I am still here, but I do just want to say thank you very much. It was brilliant to learn some of your domestic kind of secrets, also to learn that you are the perfect person to send out for chocolate. And a little reminder to people that Stop at Nothing is just out in paperback, and that you can also get hold of
Tesco and Asda.
Island of Secrets. Yes, these are the greatest places to buy books right now. This is something we really, really, really need. And I am going to now do a little preview of who we've got coming up as guests for tomorrow. Hopefully, when I have got slightly less of a problem with my fingers, like getting the right images to come up. Here we go. So, that's you. So
that's
there we go.
I'm
having a really, really bad time of this now. I'm going to bring myself back up again. I was feeling really proud of myself. I was thinking my TV background had made me incredibly kind of good at what we in the trade call vision mixing. And evidently that's not really the case at all. But anyway, here we go. Showing stream. There we go. This is what we have to do now. So tomorrow, my guest for is going to be the lovely Tony Kent, author of 3 fabulous thrillers, including Power Play, which is out right now. So I'm sure we'll be getting a few confessions from him. In the meantime, it's been great fun to have a house party with Tammy, when, let's face it,
thank you for inviting me.
No real house parties unless you are misbehaving terribly. You can buy both of our books. You can buy Stop at Nothing. You can also, if you really want to, if I can find a picture of my own book, which is kind of, there we go. Let's try this one. You can buy that one as well. Look, Black Mirror in book form. Thank you very much. Red Magazine. That's a very nice quote there. But it's been great to chat to Tammy. Thank you very much, and thank you for joining us, and do tune in again next time.
Thanks, Kate. Bye.